children. Today I am continuing the topic alternative centers of power. Today I will tell you about the China. China is our neighboring country also, and nowadays it's a very powerful and its economy is very good. Means it's in a good economic condition. But it developed, and we can say it started to develop after 1978. And now its aim is that till 2040 it will supersede USA, and because nowadays we have seen that in the field of economy USA is higher than China. So now the aim of China is that till 2040 it supersedes USA and it will be the largest economy in the world. Now let's know, children, about the background of the China. It's very important to know the background, because from this we will be understand, or we will be able to understand how the China has developed itself. Now let's know, in 1949, under the leadership of Mao, there was a communist revolution in China, and after that revolution, China could become the communist regime. That means in 1949, it could establish its communist regime, and it was under the model of communism. That is communism is the existence of only one political party will be there, and all the factors of production will be under the ownership of the government, and all the heavy industries and will be under the ownership of the government. And the result was that it was dependent upon the Soviet aid and advice. The China, because it adopted Soviet model, and Soviet model is based on socialism, and socialism meaning all the factors of production will be under the ownership of the government, and the government will start, and government will have the ownership of all the industries. Any government will be the owner of all the industries. Private ownership is not allowed there, and private property is also not allowed there. That's why this system is called socialism. And the second most important thing was that China adopted the way or system, or means that is the distance from capitalism. Distance from capitalism, due to which it went back in the development, means the very basic problems of development China was facing, because it maintained distance from capitalism. It means it maintained distance from the trade from USA, because USA is following the concept of capitalism. Capitalism means their private ownership is allowed, means private capitalists, any private entrepreneurs, they are allowed to start any industry. The result of all these policies of the China, they were not having that much foreign exchange which it needed, and it was having capital which were accumulated only from agriculture. The result was that what it was having its own land, whatever the natural resources it was having, only that much, and it was having a big population, but it was not having foreign exchange. It will maintain distance from the capitalism. Capitalism is free trade, or we can say the system in which private ownership is allowed, and it maintained distance from that. The result was that it was not having that much foreign exchange which it needed. It was in the short of foreign exchange, due to which it could not purchase technology from the other countries and goods also from other countries. The result was that it adopted the policy that we should less import, and whatever the goods are produced in the country, they have to manage only from those goods. It means if they are not because whatever the goods are, because other countries will not also favor that they are only exporting and not importing their goods, because this in the trade also it is going on that if we are purchasing something from good or technology from other countries, then certainly they are also purchasing from our country, otherwise that will be otherwise we will be in loss. If we are exporting something because the food grains or spices or cotton water we are having, then certainly we are purchasing their technologies also. But what the China did? China really maintained distance from capitalism also, and it was having short of foreign exchange also, and the result was that it was not having that much foreign exchange that it could purchase foreign goods or foreign technology also. And whatever the technology it was having, it decided to develop from that, and whatever the goods it was having and whatever the production was going on in China, decided to manage from that only. By maintaining distance from the capitalism, China adopted some methods which were very beneficial for their own country. For example, they were having resources, they were having population, and they were, whatever the technology they were having, they used it for their own country's production. Now, what was the result? China developed very fast and as an industrial economy, because whatever the resources it was having, and it was owned by the government, and government started industries, and they started to appoint the people belonging from China itself, because you know that is the first most populous country in the world. And then the second is social welfare. How this brought socialist welfare? When the people from their country started to be employed, then certainly in the society many problems were solved itself, because employment creates a lot of crisis and problem. Everyone knows this is a cycle, this creates a cycle, and resultantly so many crimes and so many problems come into existence in the society. So through its own technology and through the use and by using its own resources and human resources, it brought social welfare. Then next is better health. Chinese government started to educate their population, their citizens, for maintaining better health and for how to be fit and healthy. And this brought the good health to their citizens. Now let's know, children, that we have read that China has managed with its own resources and with the population, and it started to grow economically very fast. Then what were the reasons that the Chinese government thought and decided to open to the international market and to have relation with capitalism or capitalist form of government, that is we say in the field of trade? What were the reasons that China has started and decided to open up? The first, you can see that there was a 5 to 6% growth rate in China. Then what was the reason why it is decided to think to be open up? The first reason is that though economic growth was going on 5 to 6%, but the population growth was going on 2 to 3%. And due to the increase in the population, whatever the growth they were doing in the economic or industrial field, that was not enough. That was very less, because the growth of population was very fast. And then next is less industrial production. Due to the growth in the population, whatever the industrial production was there, it was also assumed and felt, and it was seen that industrial production was very less. Then next is interpersonal growth. Interpersonal growth is very important, because unless one person is able to grow and develop its skill, then how it can be benefited or how it can get a better opportunity. But that was also not sufficient, because the Chinese government could not manage this. Why it could not manage? Only due to the due to the high rate of population. Then next is per capita income. If we are going to talk about per capita income, that was also not very good. The reason behind that is whenever industry will get cheaper labor, because every industries want cheap labor for its industry. Wherever it will get, if the population is there or if the population is must, then certainly the labor will be cheap, and the result is that per capita income will be less. So the per capita income of the China was less, and due to all these reasons, the Chinese government decided to be open up to the market.